So, my dear ones, here we are on this wondrous Sunday, a very special day indeed, as is every day, as is every day. Last night I was watching Charlie Rose very late at night, and he was interviewing wonderful people. And one of the persons he was interviewing, and I can't remember her name, but I will, she's written a book called You Really Don't Look Your Age and Other Stories and Myths. And they went through her life, and it was wonderful. And at the end, he said to her, well, you know, you have all this wonderful success. You look gorgeous, you are gorgeous, you have a husband, you have a child, you have a great career, you're a wonderful success. She's a big mucky-muck in documentaries and HBO. Maybe her name will come to me, maybe it won't. But you can look her up. And Charlie Rose last night. And so he said, what is the one thing? What is the one thing that you do not have? And she said, well, that's a very, very interesting question. It's a hard question to answer. Yes, I do have all of this. And then it came to her. She said, the one thing I don't have is time. Time. I miss not having the feeling of being concerned about the amount of time I have left on this plane. And in all that I have, I do not have enough time. Not enough time for all that I want to realize and all I want to express and experience. And I thought, what an apt question and what a wonderful response. And then they went on in the conversation to talk about how much time is wasted. And she said, you know, and I regret wasting so much of my time ruminating forever, staying awake at night, wondering if that's the perfect word. Is that the perfect word that fits in there, and so on and so forth. Wasting such great energy on these things that really now to me don't matter. And he agreed with her. He says, yes, I've done that too. I've wasted time too. And I think if that question was put to us, we all would say there's time in our lives when we feel it was time wasted, when it could have been used otherwise, and so on. And so today being a day when we're looking at, all over our organization, we're looking at the joyous life, living the joyous life. I think what helps us live a joyous life is to live each day fully and mindfully, and to use each minute very well, you know, if we at all can. Because the precious gift that you and I have, the most precious gift that you and I have on this plane is the gift of time. We live in a time zone on this plane. And so it's yours and it's mine to live fully, or to just drift through, or to squander, or to use unwisely, however we choose to use it. But I think those of us who are the most joyous on the plane are the ones who use their time wisely and use their time well. And those would be the mindful ones. And the mindful ones know something deeply from within that many of us do not yet know, and have discovered deeply within something that many of us have not yet discovered. And that's what gives them the energy and the power and the ability to live life fully, to drink every drop, savor every drop. And the cup out of which they drink is always a cup of sunshine. Every morning when they go to the room of their mind, as I said last week, they find that cup of sunshine waiting for them. They pick it up and they drink that cup of sunshine, and that's the energy that sets the day for them, and that's how they go forward. And each and every one of us here would love to be able to say, yes, I do. I live a gloriously joyous life. A joyous life is mine. Because there's a truth in us that tells us we can. We can. No matter how much we might feel this, that, or the other, no matter how conditions and circumstances are. And I laughed all the way through the week, really, because I think about the topic for the week, and I'm thinking, okay, makes me cough thinking about it. Here I am, and I am wanting truly to be that effervescent joy that I'm in touch with, and I am. And my mind has agreed that this is a good thing. My spirit certainly knows it's a good thing. And my body says, I'm not so sure. Because my body decided for some reason to be the host to some kind of a viral thing. And it didn't really, get my agreement about that. But anyway, it decided to be the host for this thing. So during the week, I'm coughing. Which I may do throughout the talk, I don't know, and I'm not concerned about it, and please don't you be concerned either. It's anything that you need to worry about. You're not going to catch it. This is my viral thing. It's not yours. You can't have mine. If you want a viral experience, have your own. Besides, I'm at the tail end of it and all of that. But anyway, I'm hot, I'm cold, I'm coughing, the body is totally not behaving itself well. And I'm saying, well, joy is mine. My life is a life of joy. And I'm going to celebrate my life as a joyous thing. And I do. I keep doing that throughout the week. And anybody listening to me or looking at me would say, oh, sure, yeah. Keep taking the cough mixture. And maybe you'll get there. But that wasn't the case. I said, okay. Now, it would surprise me more than anything could surprise me in a long time, because I've never experienced this kind of a thing. I don't know what the hey it was. I thought, I'm dying. That's the way the body felt. It felt so awful. It really felt awful. I can't explain it. But that's how it felt. And so I had to take time out, of course. And it doesn't surprise me. My life is so congested at the moment. Why wouldn't that show up in the body? But nevertheless, I kept coming back to the words, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. Lift up your hearts. Enter God's gates singing with songs of thanksgiving and praise. Rejoice in the Lord always. And of course, for me, these are sweet words to my ear, because the Lord is the law. So it didn't matter what was going on in the body. Rejoice in the law always. And again, I say rejoice. So I spent some deep time, moving upon the law and allowing the law to move upon me as I endeavored to rejoice in whatever always. And it says to us in the scripture, in all things give thanks. In all things give thanks. And why would we be doing that? And why is it that you and I can live a joyous life? I mean, there was a time, let me tell you, and most of the leaders in this community would not show up if they had a cough or a cold or a tickle or anything seemed not quite right. And I always said from the incipiency of that, that's the time, when you do come to a center to experience the embodied energy here and to know it's just a temporary thing, not to be worried about it, and it too shall pass. It too shall pass. But for that to happen, there are steps in our awakening that must take place first. So yes, there's always a deep-seated joy moving through you, a deep-seated joy moving through me, and it never changes. Now, joy is a cause. It's not a cause, it's an effect. It's an effect. And there's no way you and I can be joyous if love doesn't precede that. I have to give up those cigarettes. Now the truth is out. I sounded like my father did once upon a time. And I'd never experienced a wheeze before, ever in my life. I didn't know what a wheeze was. I thought, oh my God, I'm wheezing. This is interesting. So, and I'm glad I didn't smoke. It's all okay. I'll cough when I have to. And so this thing called joy was what kept me going this week and saying, listen, the irony of it must not be lost on you. Because it's easy to be joyous in happy circumstances. It's another thing to be joyous always. And again, I say rejoice. And so it is truly written that laughter is the best medicine. You're not going to laugh without joy. You're not going to laugh without having some sense of upbeatness or happiness. You're only going to, be in joy for some good reason. And remember this is what came to me too, that joy is not the result of anything. And it's not something you and I are going to pick up when we step out onto some platform on the journey of life. And in this place, suddenly I find my joy. That's not what it is. And that's not how it's going to happen. Joy is the manner in which I travel. It's not going to be found out there somewhere. It's the manner in which I travel. And so off we go in this journey of life, traveling all of the time. And remember, the traveling is always back to the self of ourselves. And life's journey will take us wherever it will take us. And if you and I travel in a manner that is open and receptive, in a manner that believes and receives. The only reason why you have to believe, or I have to believe, is so that I can receive all the good that life has in store for me, all the joy that life wants me to express and experience, all the happiness that's available to me. Here's the gin. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. That should fix it. Kill any bug. Mother's ruin, as we used to call it in Ireland long ago. The water of life takes a village. Thank you for that. So the whole idea again is to be okay wherever you are, really, and however you show up, really, however you wake up. It doesn't matter how you wake up. If you wake up wheezing like I did this week, oh my God, last night, do you think I could put my head on that pillow and not cough? I had to sit up straight. I said, this is ridiculous. I'm going to go to sleep. I need my sleep. No, up straight. But anyway, you wake up in the morning and you visit that room of your mind. You wake up in the morning and you take care of the room of your mind. You make sure everything's in place, as I said last week, that it's bright and light and sunny and clean and beautiful and a place where you love to be. You drink your cup of sunshine and you say, no matter what things appear like on the outside or even the inside, doesn't matter what they appear like, I'm jolly well going to have a good day. However that's going to be, I will have a good day today, because every day is a good day, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time here. And so joy is an inner aspect of your very, very being, but it flows out of love. The love that you are, and the love that lives you, and the love that created you, and the love that sustains you, and the love that maintains you. And it doesn't matter how awful one might feel, and sometimes we can feel pretty darn awful. As I said, I thought I was dying this week. I felt so awful. And I was smiling at the same time, because I thought, this is a rare experience for you, dear. It's not something you've had experience of before, but that's okay. You're having it now. And it's all wonderful and it's all good. And we're all going to know. Well, here's tea. Tea. Oh my gosh, I should cough more. There's tea here. Tea. Oh, it's wonderful tea too. It's herbal, throat, chest tea. I wish I could offer you some, but we'll never get out of here if I do. And so, here's the thing. We'll soon get to the point of this. The point of this is, how do I remain in a state of joy? Because there has to be a way. Dr. Murray, just don't tell me that I'm full of joy. You have to give me the ways and the means for me to discover that I'm full of joy. We need pointers. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. We just need tools. Give us the tools. Okay, number one tool is, if you want to live in joy, no matter what's going on in your life, and there'll be stuff that'll go on in your life and you won't like it. You don't have to like it. You're not supposed to like it. But how do you maneuver it? What manner will you travel through it in? There's only one big major thing that's asked of us, and it is a big lot indeed. You and I have got to quit the negativity. We've got to let go, and we've got to release, and we've got to stop the thinking and the feelings we create around the thinking when we're always annoyed, irritated, upset, complaining, and judging, and perceiving, and letting stories happen in our own minds that are the greatest load of baloney that you could imagine. So you and I have to give up the nightmarish stories and myths that we allow ourselves to believe about ourselves and about each other. That's what we have to stop doing. And there's no other way. That's the thing. You and I don't come here to learn more about God or to believe more deeply in God. Of course we don't. We've had enough of that. What you and I are here to is to get more fully and more deeply that it's not about believing or knowing about God. It's about experiencing God. It's about, if none of this information or knowledge is any use to you or me if there's no experience of it. And so we're here to experience of it. If we want to experience God, we've got to give up the C-R-A-P of negativity. There's no other way. Because let me tell you, and myself especially, what I make up in my mind is not true. Anyway, it's just not true. I say never ask me to be an eyewitness, because I really, truly thought that was green. It's not. What we perceive is not necessarily the truth. So the reason why you and I are asked not to go into judgment is to stay neutral, is because if we go into judgment, we're going to make all kinds of terrible mistakes. At least if we stay neutral, we're not going to go there. And that gives us the portal into really knowing how to love God. And we're not here to learn how to love God more. We're here to learn how to love ourselves more and each other more. And in loving ourselves and in loving each other, guess what? We're loving God. We're not here to believe more deeply in God. We're here to believe more deeply about ourselves and each other. And then we find our belief in God is solid, is stable, is settled. That's the biggest number one, and the only thing really that you and I have to do in order to be the greatness of ourselves, to be in the joy, to be in the happiness, to be rejoicing always, and again rejoicing always, and entering into life rejoicing always and in joy. And it is written, you know, I have put into your mouth, I have put into your mouth joy, and upon your lips rejoicing. That's what I have put into your mouth and into your lips. Joy and rejoicing. So it's up to you and it's up to me to touch that, to capture that. And the way we do it is like the way the monk taught the young monk about handling life's baggage and problems, because there's always going to be life's baggage and problems. We'll just exchange baggages for baggages, and hopefully each time we exchange the baggage, It'll be smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller baggage that we'll put on our back. And the monk said, well, how are you so happy and how do you stay so joyful? And they had stopped for a break and they'd taken the backpacks off their backs. And he didn't answer them with words. He picked up the bag, put the big pack on his back, and he started to march down the trail, whistling and singing and in joy. That was the answer. Regardless of what's going on in your life and what you're carrying, be joyous, be glad. And again, I say rejoice, because laughter is the best medicine. Joy is the greatest booster of the immune system that we could bring to it. And then it works out somehow. And it really does work out somehow. If you trust the creative process moving through your life, never mind anybody else's, trust the creative process moving through you in a way that's going to move you through whatever challenge is before you, around you, about you, above you, below you, or even within you. Whatever that is, you'll get through it. It's not going to be pleasant, it's going to be nice, it's not going to be comfortable, but then we were never promised that here, were we? We are as spirit is, and spirit in form has always been challenged. And life is always going to show up its opposite. And when we move above and beyond this experience of duality, then all is very well. It doesn't matter what's going on. Every minute of every day is a great minute, and it's a great day. And it's like the people, who were caught in a boat, a small boat many years ago, a small boat, and they'd run out of water, and they were dying of thirst, and all of that goes with that. Then they spied a much bigger vessel coming along, and they shouted out when they could be heard, "We need water, we're dying of thirst." And from the vessel came the information, "You are sailing on the Amazon, you're at its widest wake, and so just put your buckets down, you can drink the water, and you'll be fine until we get to you." Little did they know, as they were dying of thirst, that they just had to drink the water that was there present for them. Because in those days, the water was drinkable. It wasn't contaminated. And that's the same for you, and that's the same for me. We're swimming in a cosmic ocean of all that is good and whole and wholesome and is accessible to you and is accessible to me. But we're dying of thirst. We're dying of thirst. We're dying because of the negativity we're feeding ourselves, and it's killing us. And it's producing the kind of world you look out into out there in some parts and particles of it. But remember, when you look out into the world, there's great good going on too, but it's not reported upon. And so it's up to you to stay in your joy no matter what's going on out there or in here or under your own roof. You have the power. You are empowered. You are empowered because why? You are the temple of the presence of God. The temple of the presence of God. And within that temple is written the truth. But we have written over the truth all kinds of rubbish. That temple is not being read the way it's supposed to be read. And so we need to let the rubbish, clean out the rubbish, let it go, and then there you will see what will cause you to become the laughter of God, the joy in life, the expression and the experience of what it is to know the truth that sets you free. Free to what? To just get out there and be a blessing. You don't have to do anything else. Be the blessing that you are, because it's magnificent and it's unique, and the world needs your blessing. And it's time for you to get up, to get out, and get at it. And so it is. And so it is.